Hi there, I'm Iodine. I'm going to be teaching you all about me today.
Iodine deficiency can lead to major effects in the body. Once adults fall below about 100 micrograms a day, the body tries to compensate by increasing the production of thyroid hormone. The thyroid enlarges, a condition called goiter, in order to attempt to synthesize more hormones, which can lead to coughing, hoarseness, and difficulty swallowing and breathing. If your intake becomes way too low, lower than 10 to 20 micrograms a day, the body cannot keep up and will synthesize less thyroid hormone, leading you to develop hypothyroidism. Heart rate, body temperature, and pretty much every process of metabolism are affected. Iodine deficiency in those who are pregnant can have even greater effects. Very low iodine is associated with miscarriages, stillbirths, premature births, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder in children. Severe effects like permanent brain damage can happen, but are now rare worldwide. As for the UL or upper limit value for adults, watch out for levels above 1,100 micrograms. According to the American Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, you are very unlikely to reach UL of toxicity intake even if you take a multivitamin and natural sources of dietary iodine. Here are the top 3 reasons for toxicity. In iodine-deficient regions, sudden increase in iodine intake can precipitate iodine-induced hypothyroidism, especially in older individuals with multinodular goiter. Next is consuming diets that exceed the recommended intake, such as traditional Asian meals that include various edible seaweed species. The average Japanese dietary intake is about 1,000 to 3,000 micrograms a day. Lastly, it is high maternal intake. According to the United States National Library of Medicine, iodine poisoning is very rare. If an individual were to consume toxic levels of iodine, the same symptoms as iodine deficiency would be apparent. Toxicity can reduce the function of the thyroid gland, cause gland inflammation, and lead to thyroid cancer. High doses of iodine, several grams or more, causes burning of the mouth, throat and stomach pain, fever, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, weak pulse, coma, soreness of the teeth and gums, increased saliva, throat inflammation, depression, skin problems, and others.
I'm right here.
Iodine is necessary in the body and can be found both naturally in some foods and also in a few fortified products like iodized salt. So iodine has a few major functions in the body. Sufficient iodine is tied to the production of thyroid hormones T3 and T4, which are important for protein synthesis, enzymatic activity, and metabolism writ large. They're also needed for proper skeletal and central nervous system development in fetuses and infants. Iodine also plays a role in immune response and is needed for cells to be able to change food into energy. So iodine comes in various forms: sodium potassium salts, inorganic iodine, I2, iodate, IO3-, and iodide, which is the reduced form of iodine. So it's mostly found as a salt, rarely as the element itself. Once an iodine-containing source is ingested, it is quickly absorbed as iodide, the ion, in the GI tract. In the circulation, the thyroid gland concentrates the iodide to synthesize the proper amounts of the thyroid hormones we spoke about earlier, and the rest is excreted in the urine. Now, the top 5 food sources, so you can get the right amount of iodine, are seaweed, which can have highly variable quantities, so anywhere from 16 to about 3,000 micrograms. Codfish, where 3 ounces contains about 100 micrograms, and fish sticks, where 3 ounces contains 54 micrograms. Just to be clear, the 3-ounce measurement is approximately the size of your palm. Yogurt is also a good source of iodine. 1 cup of plain low-fat yogurt has 75 micrograms. And iodized salt, so a quarter teaspoon contains about 70 micrograms. When it comes to recommended dietary allowances and how much iodine you should actually be consuming, it depends on who you are. If you're between the ages of 4 and 8, you'll need about 90 micrograms, and if you're between 9 and 13, you need about 120. If you're older than 13, you need about 150 micrograms a day. If you're pregnant, that jumps to 220, and if you're lactating, that jumps up to 290 micrograms per day. So these numbers don't mean a ton. If you're an adult, 1 cup of milk with your breakfast cereal and a 3-ounce portion of cod for dinner will give you all the iodine you need for the day. As we said before, 3 ounces, approximately the size of your palm. For non-fish lovers or vegetarians, 2 cups of yogurt will do the trick. Throw some fruit in to meet your fruit count for the day. If you're looking for a kid-friendly option, try a 3-ounce serving of fish sticks and half a cup of yogurt for a snack. So there are a few different reasons that someone could be deficient in iodine. According to the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, the vast majority of the United States population is iodine deficient. But more generally, if you live in regions with iodine-deficient soils, you are at higher risk for deficiency. Iodine is present in the upper crust of the earth as a trace element, and due to natural processes like glaciation, now exists in soils, mostly in coastal areas. So mountainous regions such as the Himalayas, the Alps, the Andes, or river valleys are prone to flooding and are some of the most iodine-deficient regions in the world. So living here may mean that you need to watch your intake levels more closely. Additionally, eating foods that contain goitrogens can also contribute to deficiency. So goitrogens are substances that interfere with the uptake of iodine in the thyroid. Some foods high in goitrogens include soy, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, and other cruciferous vegetables. So if one's iodine levels are adequate and you're eating a variety of foods, consuming some of these types of foods in reasonable amounts is not a concern. Additionally, iron and vitamin A deficiencies can interfere with the uptake of iodine in the thyroid. So if you're deficient in iron and vitamin A, you may also have trouble uptaking iodine. To end on a more uplifting note, iodine can also be applied to skin for inflammation, can help kill germs and heal wounds, can help with soreness in the mouth and the GI tract, can treat diabetic or external ulcers, and can be applied to the mouth to help treat gum disease.
Basically, I'm great. What can I say?
One cool thing that has come up in recent studies is biofortification. So iodine supplied to plants as root treatments can induce a significant increase in iodine content. Now, the most recent plant that they have attempted this with are tomatoes. And they found that if you apply the iodine as root treatments, you can increase the tomato's iodine content without affecting plant growth and development. So although iodine deficiency is a public health problem, we are using technology and new methods of fortification in order to solve it.
That's all, folks. Thanks for watching.